People get ready, for the train is coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesel humming. Don't need no ticket, you just thank the Lord. Welcome, viewing audience and listening audience, to the People Get Ready podcast with the legendary political guru, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. from Bibb's Record Shop. Today, we have the Bibb's Business Opportunity Grand Mall Opening, starting with Snap Delivered, has added 1. ERC tax credit check. 2. VidGo entertainment streaming. 3. Insure prescription discount card. Join Snap Delivered for free. Let me say that again. Join Snap Delivered for free. If you need more information, contact Mr. Charles E. Bibb's office at 216-681-1469 or his mobile number at 216-659-4619. God bless you and welcome to the star of the show, Mr. Charles E. Bibbs Sr. Take it away, Mr. Bibbs.
Thank you, Reverend Ben Fair. Great introduction. Great song.
Thank you.
Great start for a great afternoon and evening. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we have another awesome afternoon we're going to share with our listening audience and our viewing audience lined up for you today. And this new free program that we have here, please call me, because you won't believe what you can get for free.
Yes.
I know you hear that all the time, free. Nobody believes it anymore, but we got one this time, and I'll be glad to share it with our audience. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ms. Bibb.
All right. Is Miss Joanne Harley in the house?
Joanne Holly is in the house.
All right. Miss Joanne Harley, Reverend Ben Fair.
Yes, sir.
You're here. Minister Bibb and Louis Sharp today. You're going to hear Miss Joanne Harley recording start.
All right.
Take it away, Miss Joanne.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Joanne Hollywood. Please come and be with us on Vivian's exclusive Discover Yourself streaming radio app, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, except leap year, 366 days a year. Enjoy music, interviews, and various potpourri people on your Apple or Google Play app. sharpparagon@gmail.com, 216-307-5100. And that's 216-307-5100. Discover yourself. Discover yourself. Discover yourself.
Thank you, Miss Joanne Harley. Beautiful job. And tell Miss Minister Vivian Louis Sharp I said hello.
Hello, hello.
All right. Now, James Jerome Bell, I'm always telling you how our show goes all over. And tonight, sitting in the seat that you usually sit in, all the way from Virginia, we have Ms. Natalie Manning, entrepreneur, superb entrepreneur.
Yes.
Out of different businesses.
All right.
We had to have a conference on which one she was going to talk about tonight.
All right.
And I'm loving every minute of it.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Natalie, the floor is all yours. Tell us whatever you want to tell us.
Well, thank you. Hello and good evening. It's nice to be here today, and I would like to thank Mr. Bibb for having me here and letting me share. My name is Natalie Manning, and I'm an advocate for individuals, families, small businesses, and commercial drivers' rights. I have a few questions to ask you in general. What if you could have unlimited access for legal service? What if you could have letters and phone calls made on behalf of you or your business? Have you ever had a bad real estate transaction? Let me ask you, have you thought about writing or revising your will? How many of you care for elderly parents and need the proper papers for their care? Oh, and what about a health care claim you thought was covered? These are all situations in our lives, but sometimes we don't have the resources to take care of these concerns. And there is another important subject I would like to address. That is the privacy of your individual or business accounts. Most of us do not want to think about it, but the reality is that your private data and reputation can be stolen with just a few keystrokes on a computer or cell phone. Rather than leaving security up to chance, you can proactively arm yourself against cybercrimes and reputation hijacking. I would like to assist and share some information with you on these subjects that could possibly be beneficial to you. If you are interested, please text me or call me at 757-927-2579. That's 757-927-2579. If no answer, please leave a message. I also have an email address, which is nsphoto, PHOTO 53 @gmail.com. Thank you and have a great evening.
All right, Miss Natalie, would you please give us those numbers again, because we didn't get a chance to write them.
Okay, my number is 757-927-2579, and my email is nsphoto, PHOTO 53 @gmail.com.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be looking forward to hearing from you next week.
Okay.
Miss Joanne Holly, recording the Gospel Star. Are you in the house?
I am in the house.
All right. Tell me, we got some great things coming up in the near future, like tomorrow. Tell us all about it, would you?
Yes, I'd be happy to. Thank you. Well, first of all, on our next show, Wednesday, August the 17th, we will interview the legendary Michael J. Calhoun, former member of the Dazz Band. We're going to talk about his new release, Turn It Up, and It's Hot. He's going to talk about how he got started and his new release of his gospel song, Raise Up, It's Hot Too. Tomorrow is his awards luncheon at the LaSalle Theater, tomorrow, August the 11th, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., located at 823 East 185th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44119. That's 823 East 185th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44119. It'll be a soul food senior luncheon. Contact Rob Johnson, the Line Dance King, for tickets. 216-778-0401. Tickets. Rob Johnson, the Line Dance King. 216-778-0401. Get your tickets in advance because they're $25 at the door. So come on out. We're going to have it's going to be outstanding when he gets his awards tomorrow, and talk about how he got started and what he plans to do with helping other people in the community. Back to you, Mr. Charles E. Bibb Sr.
Thank you, Miss Joanne Holly. And that means our series with Mr. Michael Calhoun will kick off next Wednesday, August 17th, starting off with the affair that's going to be held tomorrow. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Thank you. Looking forward to tomorrow and next Wednesday, sharing all that awesome information.
Me too.
Okay, we're going to switch lanes now. We're going into some serious business. Reverend Fair,
Yes, sir.
last week we had the worst primary election in the history of the county
Yeah.
and the state of Ohio. The turnout was 6%. 94% of the people didn't care what you did last week. They wasn't coming out. They wasn't interested. So those who are interested in politics and government have about 90 days now to get busy and do something about it. And
Yes, sir.
we'll spend a little time talking about that right now.
Right.
And I'm going to open it up. Would you share with us, Reverend Ben Fair, what's going on in Cleveland Heights?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Bibbs. What's happening in Cleveland Heights is the Ohio State Democratic headquarters is located in Cleveland Heights. And that location is 1818 Coventry Road, Cleveland Heights, Ohio, 44118. And their business hours are Wednesday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. The contact person there is Regina. Regina, her phone number is 602-694-6978. And her email is rpearson. That's RPEARSON at ohiodems.org. They are looking for volunteers. They're looking for volunteers to pass out literature, register voters, and the slogan for the Ohio Democratic Party is Ohio Workers First. Let me say that again. Ohio Workers First. And on top of the ticket, we have, Mr. Bibbs, we have Tim Ryan, who is running for the United States Senate seat. And then also we have, who's running for the United States Congress, is Chantel Brown. She's running as the 11th district. And also at the top of the ticket, we have Nan Whaley, who's running for governor. Cheryl Stevenson, who's running for lieutenant governor along with her. Also, we have Jeff Grossman, who's running for attorney general. We have Taylor Sipping, who is running for state auditor. We have Chelsea Clark running for secretary of state. We have Scott Schertzer, who's running for state treasurer. We have Jennifer Bruner, who's running for Chief Justice Supreme Court. And Terry Jameson, that's Terry, that's a lady, not a man, who's running for Justice Supreme Court. And we also have Marilyn J.S. for Supreme Court. And let me give you this information. As Mr. Bibbs talked about, those who need to get out and vote. Let you know that voter registration is now. You can fill out your voter registration forms. You can call the Democratic headquarters, and you can also go to the Ohio Democratic headquarters and get your registration form and fill them out. Let you know that the deadline for registration is October the 11th. The early voting starts October the 12th. And also, I want you to know that the slogan here is elect pro-workers candidates. That's what the Ohio Democratic Party is running on. Who will fight for you? And here we says a plan to stop inflation and reduce the cost of everyday goods. Yes, we need that. An economy that works for everyone, not just for those who are at the top. Amen. Fair trade deals that put workers first. Sign up today. And they have the website is www.ohiodems.org, and they have an email is info@ohiodems.org. And that is the information that we have coming out of the Ohio Democratic headquarters in Cleveland Heights, Mr. Bibb.
Thank you, Reverend Fair.
Yes, sir.
Looking at this ticket,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm real proud of this ticket.
Yes.
And we have viewing audience and listening audience.
Yes.
And I think I see 3 African Americans on this ticket.
Yes, you
Would
do.
Go back and read the African Americans' names that are on this ticket.
Yes, we started at the top of the ticket. African American, we have a young lady whose name is Chantel Brown, who's running for Congress, 11th District. And also we have Cheryl Stevenson, who's running for Lieutenant Governor. And also Chelsea Clark, who's running for Secretary of State of Ohio.
That is an awesome ticket.
Yes, it is.
Brother Jerome Bill, I'm coming back to you in a minute to speak on this ticket. But since we're talking about headquarters, I'm going to the great city of Euclid, Ohio, because I heard it through the grapevine. Marvin Gaye told me that there's going to be a headquarters opening up in Euclid.
All right.
But I have to check with Miss Candace Jones. Is that true, Miss Candace Jones?
Yes, that's true. We will have a campaign office in Euclid, Ohio. The address will be 21935 Lakeshore Boulevard. We actually will get the keys to the office this Friday and start, planning. Just as Reverend Fair mentioned, it'll be a location where people can register to vote. They can come and pick up literature, signs, or whatever from the statewide candidates, local candidates, county candidates. So it'll be a resource where it can be used for voter registration, getting the word out, canvassing through the neighborhoods. It's not just for Euclid residents, it's for any residents that want to participate. And we will be looking for volunteers also. So for right now, if you want questions about the campaign office in Euclid, you can call me for now, 216-570-4738. On the podcast next week, I'll have more information as far as the hours the office will be open and resources to contact as well.
Very good. I'm going to go to Mr. James Jerome Bill, and I'll come back on to you, Ms. Candace Jones, on this subject later in the program. I think you met one of the candidates at a fair a couple of weeks ago. Is that true?
Yes,
James
Mr.
Jerome Bill, would you tell us, audience, what kind of person she is?
Yes, I had the opportunity to meet Chelsea Clark, and she's running for Secretary of State. Actually, I met her a couple times. I met her down in Columbus also, but she's a very dynamic, personable person, very intelligent.
You didn't meet her down in Columbus walking down the street, did you?
Oh,
Where
no.
did you meet her?
Oh, no. I met her at, it was a rally for the Voting Rights Act, the 52nd anniversary. So it was a collective of groups from all over the state there. And she was working hard, campaigning, shaking hands, kissing babies, and really, really doing her things. I really wanted to say that she really comes across as a very well-spoken, personable young lady who really has the skills to do the duties of the office and what she seeks. So I think that we, as Democrats, not only need to support the ticket, but support the people of color on the ticket, because our base, we collectively are a minority within a majority, but we have the power to elect people to positions of power.
Thank you, Mr. James Jerome Bell. We're a little bit behind. We'll be back to you later in the program. But I have the privilege of introducing Ms. Candace Jones in another role now. She is going to bring us additional information about this awesome SNAP program that's sweeping the country, sweeping the state of Ohio, and sweeping our community. Ms. Candace Jones, would you tell us all about this SNAP Delivered?
Yes, I will. So SNAP Delivered, as we've been talking and introducing SNAP over the past few months, SNAP Delivered is a food delivery service that was launched last year in 2021. It was a year in July that it was launched. It was really originally launched as a food delivery service. And why it's so great as a food delivery service as opposed to some of the others is because the restaurants only have to pay $2 per delivery, $2 fee per delivery. It's also drivers who deliver for SNAP Delivered can make income multiple ways, not just driving, not just the tips, fuel costs, but it's multiple ways that a driver can make money with SNAP Delivered. Restaurants, a restaurant that comes aboard, again, it's a saving of $2 per delivery fee, so that saves them a lot of money instead of the 20, 30, or 40% charge that they're currently paying now with other delivery services. And believe it or not, there are some restaurants that don't deliver because they don't want to have to pay that high delivery costs. So SNAP Delivered is here for them to be able to enter into the delivery service for a low fee. SNAP Delivered also just recently launched some new additional programs available. So not only does SNAP Delivered take care of food delivery, SNAP Delivered takes care of financial delivery with the ERC program, Employee Retention Tax Credit Program. And what that does is, this was part of the CARES Act that started in 2020. And what it does is it helps businesses, not just restaurants, but businesses that have W-2 employees get a credit, tax credit to their business. So they can get up to $26,000 per W-2 employee. When you think about businesses that may have anywhere from 10 to 500 employees, that becomes a lot.
Yes.
It's not funding or money that the business has to refund or turn back into the government. It's not money that is earmarked or designated that they have to spend it certain ways. They can use it and spend it how they want. So it's just a way for SNAP Delivered to be able to help businesses out well also. And it's not, SNAP Delivered has collaborated with a accounting firm, Jorns and Associates, to actually do all the paperwork that's needed. And Jorns and Associates has actually found money for businesses that originally said that they didn't qualify. They were able to find money for them through the ERC program. Another way that SNAP Delivered helps out is with entertainment delivery. So SNAP Delivered collaborated with Vidgo that has streaming of over 150 channels and more being added all the time, so that you can cut the cord with your cable service and use the streaming. SNAP Delivered helps out with your prescriptions by offering a discount prescription card. If you have prescriptions, if you know anybody that has prescriptions or you have them yourself, you know how costly they can be, especially if you have to pay some of it out of your pocket. So having a discount card will definitely be beneficial. So these are just all ways that SNAP Delivered can help you out on a daily basis. And to join SNAP Delivered, it's free. It doesn't cost anything to join SNAP Delivered. So it's just a way to help out.
Ms. Candace Jones, that free piece, would you explain that to Reverend Ben Fair and James Jerome Bell about the free and how they can get
Okay. So to
people representing companies to come in?
So to join SNAP Delivered, it's, as I mentioned, it's free. So one of the things is you have to be invited to join SNAP Delivered. So Mr. Bibb would send you a link. You click on that link. It just asks you for some information, your name, your address, and doesn't ask you anything about Social Security. Name, address, information, and then it puts you in what they call their database. and you become what's called a customer. So you are now privileged to be involved with ERC, or be involved with food delivery, or be involved with the entertainment, or the prescription cards. So you signed up for free, but you have access to all of these other programs that you can also join and take part of.
That's great.
So it's a great opportunity, great business, and a way to help everybody on some type of level, whether it's business, whether it's personal. It's a way to help everybody out.
Let me ask another question. What does Mr. James Jerome Bell and Reverend Ben Fair want to bring their family member, a friend, or other business association into the business?
They can bring anybody in. So once you register with SNAP Delivered, you have a link that you can also share with others. Let me give you an example of what you can start earning income by doing that. So if I signed Reverend Fair up to be a customer in SNAP Delivered, and you go and you order food from a restaurant, and the restaurant again is only going to charge $2, but for what you're eating and doing at that restaurant, I get paid. You signed register James Jerome Bell up for the same thing, for the entertainment, for the video entertainment. So James Jerome Bell signs up for the video entertainment. He gets one of their services. You get paid from that, just for James Jerome Bell signing up for that service as well.
good.
So let's say Mr. Bibb has a business, and I go to Mr. Bibb and say, Mr. Bibb, I can help you by registering with SNAP Delivered. You can collaborate with Joins and Associates. They can help you try to find employee tax credit money for your business. Would you be interested in doing that? So Mr. Bibb would sign up. To register with SNAP, doesn't cost anything. To sign up with Joins and Associates, they would take care of taking you through the process to find out and connect with you. So once you sign up with Joins and Associates, they would connect you with someone from Joins and Associates and let you know what information they need. They'll go through all the tax papers and everything, let you know how much money, tax money, that you can have coming to your business based on the number of employees you have. So again, you're signing up for each one of these areas for free as a customer, being with SNAP, for these different programs. Now the programs themselves, like for the streaming, there's a fee for that if you choose to do that. But to be associated with SNAP is for free.
Thank you very kindly, Ms. Candace Jones.
Thank you.
And we'll be looking forward to doing this business with all of us.
Okay.
Okay. Is Ms. Gwen Jarvis in the house?
Yes, she is.
All right. Ms. Gwen Jarvis? Ms. Gwen Jarvis? Dr. Gwen Jarvis?
She was on the line. Maybe she'll come back. She's not there
Dr.
right
Gwen
now.
Jarvis, we're looking for you. We need your information. Okay.
But we do have a special guest that we were bringing to the program. Petite Tally is on the line.
Introduce her.
Okay. So we have a special guest on the line that I just had the opportunity of meeting on the phone the other day, Miss Petite Tally, who is the CEO of the Ohio Coalition of Black Civic Participation. She is going to share with us about the Freedom to Vote and voter education training that took place in Columbus, Ohio, that Mr. Bell mentioned that he went to. That event took place on August the 6th. She's going to share information about that event. She's also going to share the mission of the organization that she's working with. And as Mr. Bell mentioned, the August 6th date was the 57th anniversary of the signing of the Voting Rights Act. Ms. Petite Tally, are you on the line?
I am here, and thank you. Thank you so very much. Thank you, Mr. Bibb, for having me. People get ready, and I love the name of your podcast. As Candace mentioned, I'm Petey Talley, and I'm the convener or the executive director, if you will, of an organization called the Ohio Coalition on Black Civic Participation, or the Ohio Unity Coalition. And we were privileged to join with hundreds of activists who came together in buses and cars from across the state to commemorate the 57th anniversary of the 1965 signing of the Voting Rights Act. We came to acknowledge our freedom to vote. We came to demonstrate our collective power and to design a plan to fight for our rights. There were close to 150 individuals who attended the training, and then they were joined by several 50 or so more people on the steps of the Capitol as we rallied for our rights. This voter engagement and freedom to vote rally was sponsored by our organization, along with the Ohio Baptist State Convention, organization by the name of Faith in Action, the AMOS Project, the Ohio Organizing Collaborative, the State Conference of the NAACP and its units, the Ohio A. Philip Randolph Institute, the Ohio Legislative Black Caucus Foundation were among the sponsors of this particular voter education and rally. What was that? We wanted to talk about at the rally, what is at stake? And some of it has already been stated in terms of the candidates, but we know that the gutting of the Voting Rights Act and its stalled action in the Congress was one of the things that we wanted to talk about. We know that what also is at stake when we talk about election is this whole capture of the right by violent anti-democratic white supremacists. We saw that in live in living color on January the 6th as we watched our TVs with what would have been the peaceful transfer of power. We know that this growing economic inequality, inflation, the pandemic, and corporate power that is suppressing wages is what's at stake. And certainly the Supreme Court stripping our rights, whether it's through our women's ability to have abortion, the environment, our privacy, this proliferation of guns that we see, especially military-style guns that are killing our children in schools or in theaters or churches, education, democracy, and more are all things that we know are at stake. And when we think about this upcoming election, we are here, we came because of redistricting, because Ohio has some of the most gerrymandered districts in the nation that have been struck down by the Ohio Supreme Court 5 times. And even the congressional maps have been struck down twice. And so we know that, I think Mr. Bibbs mentioned that it was the lowest turnout that we have seen this past Tuesday in a primary. And Mr. Bibbs mentioned that. And yet we were voting on illegal maps at both the congressional level when voters went to the polls in May, and then again at the state legislative level when voters went to the polls this past Tuesday. Voter suppression laws. Ohio is the only Midwest state without same-day registration or automatic voter registration. Even though in our 30-day voter registration requirement has been viewed as the strictest in the nation. And so the impact of all of that, the impact of all of the stuff that we were there to kind of unpack on Saturday means that our participation rate is 10% less on average than other Midwestern states. And when I say our, I'm talking about Black voters in the state of Ohio. Currently, just a few more information and then I'll open it up for questions. We've got power in Ohio And we know we do, because that's why they're fighting so hard to strip us of the rights. And when I say we, I'm talking about Black folks. If it wasn't powerful, they would not be trying to strip. Just a few more stats. Currently, there are 2.3 million unregistered eligible voters in Ohio. 2.3 million people that could be registered to vote but are not. And we believe some of it has to do with just the climate the barriers that are erected to keep people from having a smooth path to register to vote. What that looks like in terms of the Black community in Ohio, of those 2.3 million, 569,837 of them are Black. 169,982 of them are Latino. 72,532 are Asian Americans, and 1.5 million of those are under the age of 35. And so while there's that many people, that many more people that we could put in our electorate, and if those people that are eligible to vote were actually registered and voting, the outcome of Ohio in terms of who gets elected to office would be much different than what it currently is. Just to kind of give you again a snapshot, your audience may already know this, but let me just remind you, Ohio is 78.7% white, 13% African American, 3.9% Latino, 2.5% Asian American. But when we look at turnout, particularly in 2018, 4 years ago, turnout among white voters was 89.9%. That's well above the percentage that they are represented in the state by. But for African Americans, again, our population size is 13%, but only 8.1% of African Americans turned out to vote in 2018. For Latino voters, that number was less than 1%, 0.9%. For Asian Americans, 0.6%. And so we know we've got power. We've got the power in Ohio, but somehow or another, there's a disconnect in terms of us conveying that information to our families, to our neighbors, to the communities where Black folks live. Again, they wouldn't fight so hard to take away our right to vote if it wasn't powerful. And just as a reminder, the last Ohio governor's election was only decided by 164,000 votes. 164,000 votes, and we have 569,000 unregistered Black voters, Black citizens in Ohio who are eligible to vote but are not voting for whatever reason. We also talked about the candidates, who was on the ballot, what was at stake in the election, and I think Brother Bell just and the other brother sitting there in station just mentioned who all the candidates were, so I won't re-talk about that again. But the last thing that we did, and the last thing that we wanted to do, was really train people on how to get organized. We've got to get organized if we're going to get our community participating in election. We've got to get organized so that we can get them the information that they need in order to go out and vote. And your previous speakers have already mentioned things like voter registration deadline being October the 11th. We have National Voter Registration Day coming up on Tuesday, September 20th, another opportunity for folks in our communities to get voting. Early voting starting on October 12th. Souls to the polls Sunday, November 6th, and of course, Election Day is Tuesday, November the 4th. And so we did a training and trained about 150 people. We provided them with the resources that they need, which were blank voter registration cards, so that they could go out and double check and check among their family, among their friends, among their circle of influence to make sure they're registered to vote. And then Ohio, and encourage them to make a plan about how they're going to vote. in this coming election, to know the rules, make a plan, and get all of the information in and vote according to the deadlines. Ohio Unity Coalition, the organization I run, we have a tool that we want to make available to anyone in Ohio to use to make it easy to look up your voter registration. I know the Democratic Party is going to be doing some of that, and maybe even on the Republican Party side as well, because Unity Coalition is nonpartisan. We have a tool, though, anyone can use. It's a website, and the address is ready.vote. Ready.vote, where we're going to be launching a campaign to ask the question, are you vote ready? And we're going to start that campaign in the coming weeks. We'll have a presence there in Cleveland, Ohio. We'll have QR codes where people can scan. If they can't remember the ready.vote address, they can scan the code. It will take them into our website, and then the website will help them either check their registration to see if they're on the voter rolls, make any changes if they need to. It will also check to see if they want to get registered to vote online, you can actually register to vote online. You just need 2 pieces of ID information. It'll take them there if that's what they want to do. It'll help them find their new district, because the district lines have moved because of the redistricting that took place. These illegal gerrymandered districts, some people don't even know if they're in the same state house district, and many times they're not in the same state house district, not in the same Senate district. Our tool will help them find the district that they're in by taking them to the Secretary of State site, as well as if they request an absentee ballot, it'll help them track their ballot online, so that they know that their ballot is in and got counted. And so with that, I'll stop. That was the thrust of what we wanted to do, is kind of how we're launching into the electoral season that is coming up with our Freedom to Vote. We want to lead. We challenge the participants to leave the training, leave the rally, and go back to their communities prepared to roll their sleeves up and make sure our community is vote ready, and that we change those turnout numbers to some higher percentages is what we want to see in the upcoming election.
Thank you. Thank you very kindly. That was an awesome report, and we'd like you to come back next week. I have a couple of groups that want to join the group, the statewide group. This is going to take a lot of hard work. As you know, we averaged 6% turnout this last primary. So we got to go real deep to get them out the house, and we're ready to go to work to do it. I have one group that's ready, my group, Cuyahoga County African American Democratic Caucus is already on board. We'll be working with you, and as I talked to you when I talked to you on the phone, I had worked with Tom Roberts when he was a senator, and we and him and I and C.J. McClellan worked together at the same time. I have worked with you on other programs also in Columbus.
Yes, you have.
So we got a chance to save this state from going deeper in red and bring it back to blue where it belongs. So we probably got to break it up, Miss Tally, into 2 parts, the voter registration part and the get out the vote part.
Yes, sir.
I cannot think about this. I'm going to call you. We might have to do a northern from Mansfield up, Akron, Canton, Youngstown, Toledo, Cleveland, Ohio, Lorraine, and the voter registration, working toward that National Voter Registration Day, and do the same thing from Columbus South to Cincinnati, Springfield, Dayton, and host the same thing in Dayton, and the same thing here in Cleveland, and then have the big one for the get out the vote after voter registration closes, because that's going to be real important. We can get the new voters out, which most of the time they come out to vote, and the old voters with another statewide meeting early October. But
Yes,
I'll
sir.
go into details with you when I call you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
We're running a little behind, but any of my co-hosts have a question?
Well, I just wanted to say, Miss Tally, It was a pleasure meeting you, and your enthusiasm and dedication to not only the people of Ohio but the democratic process is truly uplifting and amazing. And one thing that I would love to say is that in Ohio, we're going to do it because not only is this where the heart of the matter is, but it's where dreams come true.
Don't forget to tell your name.
And I'm James Jerome Bell.
I recall introducing, shaking your hand at the rally, Mr. Bell.
Very good. I appointed him as one of our coordinators for these 3 big events we're going to have. Reverend Fair?
Yes, sir.
Reverend Ben Fair?
Yes, sir.
Any questions or concerns before we close out?
I just want to say this, Ms. Tyler, you gave an excellent presentation, and we enjoyed the statistics. And I wanted to ask you a question. How is it possible that the white voters percentage is 89.9% when they only have 78.8 registered voters? How is that possible?
Well, I would say that number one, it sounds like somebody organized them in 2018 based on those numbers. It is possible to have greater numbers of turnout, percentages of turnout than your overall population. That means of the 78% of them that are registered to vote in Ohio, almost 90,000 of those voters came out and vote. That's a pretty high number. And I would say that someone might be making investment in turning out white voters and not necessarily making investment in turning out Black voters. I don't know if it's the party or the candidates or what happened in 2018, but those are the numbers. And we can get numbers that are similar. We have had voter turnout, even though we're only 13% of the population, we have been at one point at least 24% of all of the voters that go to the polls and vote. We haven't seen those numbers in a while because of these attacks, and our community is tired. We've been under attack. And so we as leaders in our community have to let people and give people hope that their vote is power. Their power is in the vote.
Before I get to Ms. Jones, Ms. Tyler, you hit it on the head. When we got those numbers, you remember, we had minority coordinators at that time. Brother Bill, we used the term minority coordinators all over the state, working to bring those numbers out. And the top 15 cities in the state that had the most African Americans. That's how we got the numbers out. And that's what we're headed for this election, Ms. Talley.
Yes.
And before I have Ms. Kenneth Jones close out, will you be available for the podcast next week?
Is it at this same time?
Same time every week all over the world.
Yeah, I do believe I should be able to make that. My niece is
Okay,
gonna
Ms. Candace Jones will be getting in touch with you and letting you know what time and all like that. And we're
Okay.
going to kind of lengthen it a little bit because it's getting a little heavy. Ms. Candace Jones, close it out, please.
Thank you, Ms. Talley, for joining us here this afternoon. You did an awesome job and gave us a lot of information, some information that, some of us didn't know. But it was great information. We look forward to working with you and getting this to turn out to be a positive election season. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Talk to you soon and see you next week. Thank you. Who do we have on the phone?
Thank you.
We have Miss Marcella Boyd Cox on the phone.
Hello, Miss Marcella Boyd Cox. How are you this evening? Miss Marcella Boyd Cox, are you with us?
I'm sorry, trying to join. Yeah.
All right.
I'm sorry.
How are you doing
Yes,
this
I'm
evening?
here. I'm here.
Good.
Little late, but I'm here. Thank you.
That's okay. We changed the time around, and Candace came up with that idea, and it worked out fine.
Yeah, I appreciate you being considerate of my time because
Right.
thank
Now,
you.
we're always trying to work together, and I was looking at television at the right time, Reverend Ben Fair,
Yes, sir.
and saw Miss Boyd Cox on the line talking about her billboards and trying to help stop this violence. I said
Yes.
we got to have her on the show to tell us how we want to spread the word, and she can share with us how they did it, and what plan they have in mind. Miss Marcella Boyd Cox, the floor is yours.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you. And thank you again for the opportunity to be on your broadcast. But yes, you did see the billboard. We've had that billboard. It's been up since the spring, about March. And you see the message of the billboard, and it's captured some attention. But it's just so important because I, as a funeral director, of course, I see the end result of so many of our people, so many of our African American, our Clevelanders that are being killed, and it just seems in record numbers. And a lot of the killing is being done by our own people, and it's an unfortunate circumstance. And so, I just try to be a community aware. And we try to give back to the community as much as we can. And we thought this billboard would kind of heighten the awareness and make people maybe stop and think twice before they commit an act. It's, again, it's us killing us. And the only way I feel our community will survive is if we make a stand and say something. We did this billboard, the same theme, in the 90s. It was in 96. The backdrop, of course, the graphic was a lot different then. We had it was a staff photo at the time, and it captured attention. But here we are, 20 or more years later, and we're still dealing with it, the same issue, and it's even more. You see even more, and so that's why we did it. I mean, we just want to take a stand, and I didn't think it was that brave, or I've been told by a friend it's a brave stand. I didn't see it that way. I just thought it was like a community kind of a public message that needs to be said. I mean, we're doing it to ourselves in a lot of instances. So I know that it sounds kind of gruesome and all, but we gotta get smart, and we gotta take care of each other. And as the lady before was saying, even with the voting, we've got to step up and be a part of that process, and be a part of the process of nurturing our communities, and somehow turning this whatever this is we're going through, and try to halt it, get a hold of it and stop it. It's a very unfortunate.
Very good, very good. Let me ask, anyone have any concerns or questions?
I do. Not really a question, but thank you, Ms. Cox, for joining us today. And I just want to make sure that people are aware that maybe haven't seen the billboard, is that your company put a very good twist on the words. And the phrase on the billboard says, "Stop the violence or face the mourning after." Mourning being mourning like you're mourning a loss of a loved one, not
Yes,
the
yes.
mourning. Yes. So
Yes,
I like
thank you
that
for-
twist on it. So that was very clever. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you for highlighting that. Yes, we have one billboard right now that's on the Opportunity Corridor there at Woodland, and then we have about 89th and Woodland, and then we have one on Chester, about 40th and Chester, right there by the police department. And yeah, it's I don't know what more to say, except that we got to be our brother's keeper, and we got to somehow see how we can stop this violence.
Yeah.
It's hurtful. It's hurtful to see the community. We resort. I know people have short tempers, and especially right now with the effects of the inflation and the pandemic, and people couldn't get out. They were held inside and all, but it just seems out of control, and it's just very unfortunate. We see a lot of families, they come in, and people aren't prepared, of course, for death, and they haven't made any kind of plans, and I even add to this, and this is a side, but even our younger um, our younger members of the community are killing themselves. They're resorting to suicide. They feel like they have no other way out, and it's just unfortunate. It's just sad.
Okay, we're gonna have to have you come back again. Reverend Fair, did you have a question?
No, I don't have a question. I just want to say to Ms. Cox, thank you for your interest in our community. In some way, somehow, we have to put up a program, a campaign to stop the
Yes.
violence in
Yes.
our community.
Yes.
Thank you.
And okay, thank you.
All right. James Jerome Bell.
Yes, Ms. Boyd Cox, this is James Jerome Bell, and I just wanted to say, we are living in critical times, hard to deal with people having so many issues, and hopefully this billboard campaign will be one where it can open up and illuminate the minds of people to have a more peaceful and resolute life and have the possibility of living in peace in our community. I know that might seem far-fetched now, but I know that with God's help, all things are possible. And I
Oh
want to
yes,
thank you for coming on.
yes, I appreciate. Oh yes, that was very touching. I appreciate. I like that the way you said that. That was very, very well. I thank you.
All right, thank you, and we'll be in touch with you. And the young lady that's following is Miss Gwen Jarvis on the line.
Yes, she is.
She's doing the same type of thing about gun control. Miss Dr. Gwen Jarvis, are you on the line?
Yes, I am. I want to apologize for that because I had a great grandson. I couldn't find him, so I'm back here now. I have really enjoyed the program. I'm sorry that I wasn't on last week, but I forgot that I had a training that I had to do. However, I like to thank everyone for their comments. But Miss Tally, if you're still on the line, I have something that I'd like to share with you in particular and also with everyone else. I don't know if everyone is aware of what's called Salute the New Naturalization of Citizens. It started in 1947 by the Daughters of the Revolution. And so the lady died and they left it to me, and I did it for over 30 years. And that's the opportunity where you could join me in going down and have, when citizens are become American citizens, and I notarize papers for them and help swear them in. This is when I had the Board of Elections and everybody, churches and everything, to come in to draw in members and also to register to be for the board to register to vote. And I would like to say it's a wonderful opportunity because there are many people here, as you say, do not vote, and particularly the Asian community, because I represent the Asian Indian community, and there are some restrictions that they have, as with others, as they become American citizens, where they're not allowed to vote. There's a large percentage of them, they're not aware of it, and then for various reasons, they're restricted from voting. So that's why that population does not vote. Not because they don't care, but our country don't allow them to. But I was asked to speak about moms. So if anyone like to have any information about Salute to New Citizens, you can contact me at area code 216-578, at 216-374-5147. And I can also text, and Candace has my email address, and I can communicate with you in that way. But that is taking place, that takes place the first and the third Friday of each month, twice a day, and people come from miles away. They come from here in order to become American citizens. Moms Demand Against Gun Violence, which, as Marcella just said, spoke about the violence and she is up front. She's almost like, we want to say, a responder, because they address many of those issues in varying young people. And as for moms, I have spoken at a lot of funerals and attended a lot of visuals because we are killing ourselves. And so, but what I want to touch on today, since we talk about youth and kids.
Time's up. Dr. Jarvis has just passed me the time, but we'll bring you back next week. And then call me when you want to schedule something different, and we'll make time allowance for it. Okay?
Okay, I can do that. I can do that. All right. So we want to get kids involved too, since they go.
Okay, we're gonna call you tomorrow afternoon. Okay? Thank you. And we're down to the football 2-minute warning, Mr. James Jerome Bell. And we had some awesome dialogue today. And we got a lot of work to do. We have some awesome business opportunities, both locally and in Virginia. And we're going to get on that. And we're growing like I would hope that we would be growing. We want everybody to keep their shoulders to the wheel. Because if the people that we've been waiting to come is us.
Yes. Yes, sir.
The ones we've been waiting on, Miss Natalie, is us.
Yes.
So we have to do it. Both fighting the violence, getting the people to the poll, and getting